This is the PlayStation Portal, and even though the acronym is still the PSP, that's not going to be the same thing as the PSP portable gaming system that came out almost 20 years ago. This is going to be something similar to that. It has a much larger screen. It has a Dualsense Edge controllers, but this is going to be more of a streaming device where your PlayStation 5 acts more as a server that kind of hosts all of the games, and then you can play from this alongside your PS5. Now, because of that, your PS5 does have to be on, whether that's at home or really anywhere that you leave it. As long as it's on, that's going to be sending the signal to this PlayStation. And even though portable gaming isn't something that's brand new, everything really started up way back then from the PSP to the 3DS, and slowly it's kind of been evolving into something like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go. Like there's really... Is it Lenovo? Yeah, the Lenovo Legion Go. There's really a lot more portable gaming systems now, and a lot are ranging from something like a portable Windows machine that kind of has all of that incorporated into the gaming system as well, to something like a Nintendo Switch OLED that's still going to be more Nintendo focused, and you can get home and dock it and throw it up on a TV. This is just going to be an accessory. This is only meant to be played portably. This is by no means something that you can dock. If you want something, well, actually, you can dock it in a sense by just playing it on your PS5 itself. But because of that, this sits in a very awkward spot just because it's only an accessory for your PS5. So it's not a standalone system. There's no games that you can download directly onto this. More than anything, it's just a controller with an Android tablet in between, just to kind of have that comfortability or that ease of just turning it on and being able to log straight into your PS5. And because of that, it also does not have any cloud gaming or any streaming really, so you can't log into any other apps. This is only going to work specifically with a PS5 that's logged into your account. And it does come in at $200. So even though it might seem like a very overpriced accessory, it's honestly not that bad. If you think about it, there is a very specific market that's going to enjoy using a portal. And I think I'm one of them, only because you guys can see here, I have my whole setup here. You guys will see my PS5 right back there. This whole setup here is actually in a bedroom. So whenever I do want to play it in the living room and kind of be next to my wife while she watches their shows or she's doing a puzzle or whatever, I can still have that PS5 gaming experience on this portable system. And there are other ways that you can do the PS remote play. You can use it on your phone. You can get kind of attachments to your controller or something like a backbone to also kind of have that experience. And I will be talking about some of those alternatives as well as comparing it to the Portal in a future video. So if you want to see what I think about kind of how these come up next to the Portal, make sure you get subscribed, because I will be posting a video kind of having a head-to-head between the backbone to the Portal to kind of that Dualsense Edge adapter, so you can use still the Dualsense Edge remote or just the Dualsense remote with your iPhone as well. But just with the PlayStation Portal, the main thing that's going to be the difference is going to be that screen. And like I mentioned, it is just an Android tablet smacked right between a Dualsense controller. And this Android tablet does have an LCD screen. It did not come with an OLED screen, kind of like all these other brands, the Steam Deck and the Nintendo Switch. They are moving towards having an OLED screen, and I personally think that Sony will be going that route sooner or later, just because that's something that really everyone wants. Everyone loves having an OLED screen, and if you already have a monitor or a TV that's OLED, jumping to something like this that's an LCD screen will seem like a step back. And not only in the screen quality, but you also only get a 1080p 60 Hz display. So if you're someone that likes to play a lot of shooters, I definitely would stay away from this, because it cannot go up to 144 or 120 Hz, which again, if you're coming from a monitor or a TV that supports that, going to something like this is going to feel way slower. But if you're someone that really just enjoys playing single player games, you can jump into this very easily. The 1080p screen still works really well. The 60 Hz, honestly, there's not many titles that even support 120 Hz. But if you're someone that's into competitive gaming, that 120 Hz for something like a shooter game is going to be kind of detrimental if you go down to a 60 Hz display. But for someone that just enjoys playing God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Assassin's Creed, really any of those single player story based games, this will be more than enough. In fact, being able to play God of War on this game, playing it on the couch, really takes me back to when I had my PSP and playing God of War 1, 2, and 3. It really was a whole different experience, and just being able to play it on this honestly feels really great. And one thing that this really has above the PSP from 20 years ago is having that Dualsense controller, so you still get the exact same adaptive triggers and the features that you would get with the Dualsense with your PS5. There is one difference that some reviewers have said that kind of is bad for these controllers, and that's the joysticks. They are going to be smaller than they are on the Dualsense controller itself. But honestly, I don't really mind them. But if you do mind them, I will be linking down below some adapters that were made for this, as well as a Nintendo Switch, just so that you can get them a little bit larger. Maybe they're more comfortable for your fingers. But even though you do have a lot of those features as you would on a DualSense Edge, there is, unfortunately, in my experience, some input delay from the Portal to the TV, and this is more noticeable when you're right next to the TV and you're kind of playing, again, any competitive game. Not only are you bumped down to a 60 hertz display, but there also is that input delay that's maybe 10 milliseconds. I honestly don't even know, but it's very, very short. And this mainly, again, is going to be really noticeable on something that's going to be super competitive, where you need those immediate reflexes rather than something that's more story based. I know games like God of War, Final Fantasy 16, whenever someone is attacking you, you do get a kind of grace period. You get 3 to 5 seconds to click the button to dodge or to move out of the way. But whenever you're playing something more competitive, that millisecond is going to count against you. And here is a quick clip to show you kind of how that input delay is seen whenever I have the noise coming from the TV as well as coming from the Portal. You'll notice that the TV actually plays the sound just like half a second earlier, just because the screen will react immediately to the PS5, whereas the Portal that's basically streaming off of the PS5 is going to have that delay right behind that. But if you don't mind the input delay that you just saw there, this is a great system accessory for your PS5. I've seen it be called a Dadstation for a lot of dads out there that share the TV with their kids and they want to still take care of their kids. They can throw on cartoons on the TV and still be able to play their PS5. Or if you're in a situation like me where your PS5 needs to stay in another room or on another floor in your house, you can still play that and stay kind of in the living room with everyone else and still game on your PS5 still within the same household. But if you have been looking at getting the PlayStation Portal, I'm sure you've seen all the reports that this does not have Bluetooth. And while you can get a Bluetooth adapter that goes straight into the headphone jack, that way you can kind of go the back end and go a different route to attach your kind of headphones to that Bluetooth adapter and then use that Bluetooth adapter for your Portal. There is a different way, especially if you're playing your Portal at home in the same room or in a different room, which is what I have been doing, which is getting Bluetooth headphones for your PS5 itself. This is actually the route that I've been taking. I do have some HyperX Bluetooth headphones right up there. Those white ones that you see up there, those are connected to the PS5 with a not a 3.5, a USB dongle to the back of my PS5. And whenever I use my PlayStation Portal, because I am within Bluetooth range of my PS5, I can use those headphones and still hear everything that's going on in the Portal. Like I mentioned, if you do kind of mind the delay, there is a very slight delay similar to the TV. I'm not going to do it again, but similar to the TV, if you put up the volume on the speakers of the Portal, you'll hear it in the headphones just a slight millisecond before the Portal itself. But if you're using headphones, there's no reason why you should leave the speakers on the Portal itself. Now on to the big elephant in the room when it comes to the PlayStation Portal, is that this is a very limiting device. This device can't really do much. It's an Android tablet that's made specifically to connect with your PS5 system. It doesn't allow you to do any cloud gaming, no other services. You can only go into a PS5 and that's about it. When you compare that to other ways of gaming, you can use your iPhone to kind of go into Xbox Game Pass. You can go into PlayStation Remote Play. You can do the Apple Arcade. You really can do a lot more and just get a kind of adapter for your Dualsense controller. And you'll be able to get a lot of those features and the benefit of using an ergonomic controller with your iPhone as well. And not only that, another alternative is to go with something like a backbone that similarly allows you to connect to Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Remote Play, Steam. Really, you can do a lot with the backbone itself as well and its app, but that's also going to be limiting in terms of now you don't have that DualSense controller. But like I said, I will be diving deeper into whether all these other accessories are worth it or not, because they are going to be half the price. And if you're on a tight budget, or if you just don't use your phone that much anyways, it might be better to go with those, especially with the added functionality of being able to use your 5G, not a hotspot, but your mobile data on your phone to still be able to game without needing to use your hotspot data itself. To see that comparison, make sure you guys get subscribed, and make sure you guys also like this video while you're down there if you guys enjoyed the content. As always, thank you guys for watching. Click here to watch another one of my videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one.